Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the George Collection. I'm Rachel Rightside Blonde. Today I'm going to bring you the March 1997 cover with Julia Roberts on the front. Ironically enough, it's a white cover with a special Hollywood issue written on the front. And our latest George is also going to be a Hollywood issue with a white cover. And I did not plan that. I usually just lay out some magazines to look through. And this one just happened to coincide with our current George coming out with a white cover and Hollywood on it. So I thought that was very interesting. Today, I just wanted to read the editor's letter from this issue written by John Kennedy. Here we go. You say potato, I say potato. Between the mass migration eastward of movie moguls and millionaires to the inaugural and the glamorous gaggle of politicos at the Oscars, one would think all was well with the passionate yet dysfunctional power couple of Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. And lately, there's been some dispute over who wears the pants in this partnership. Emboldened by a public mood that has soured on less than family-friendly programming, politicians have pushed the entertainment community to produce a meaningful TV rating system. Jack Valenti, head of the Motion Picture Association of America and author of the movie rating system, convened a group to create such a measure for television. After 11 long months of meetings, the group grandly unveiled its plan. Not enough, harumphed Representative Ed Markey, the ranking Democrat on the Telecommunications and Finance Subcommittee. Take it or leave it, was essentially Valenti's reply. Hopes of a thaw ended when Reed Hunt, the Federal Communications Commission honcho, informed television executives that the quid pro quo for selling the last treasured pieces of the broadcast spectrum to media conglomerates might entail setting aside free airtime for political candidates as a public interest obligation. At this writing, the offer remains open, but the shaky romance took an unexpected turn for the better. Washington chaperoned while record companies and video makers had an unprotected fling with their eager partners in China. It turned out that copyright wasn't the Chinese government's idea of fun, and politicians threatened trade sanctions when American content producers just said no. In this issue, we pay homage to the longest-running family feud since the Honeymooners. Clint Eastwood plays a thief who gains more power than the president in the new thriller Absolute Power. Dan Quayle talks about his new life and his bad press, and notes that his screed against Murphy Brown was a sneak preview of Bill Clinton's own second-term discourse on values. We are also pleased to have Elizabeth Kay's retrospective on Jesse Helms. Hear from the man himself why he is the perfect foil for the Hollywood elite he so often pillories. He's been married to the same woman for 54 years, and his idea of doing lunch is a glass of chocolate milk and a hot dog at his desk. Finally, we hope you enjoy our photo montage on rebels and revolutionaries, in which actors play real-life rebels whose attitude was learned the hard way, and who never had a posse of publicists to keep them out of trouble. On another more sober note, in this issue is the first-person account of Gila Amir, the mother of Yigal Amir, the convicted assassin of Yitzhak Rabin. She describes the strange events surrounding the death of Israel's prime minister. Several months ago, representatives of the family contacted the editors at George and asked whether we were interested in the piece. They were, no doubt, hoping that my own family history would bring added attention to their story, and they were probably right. For several months, we weighed the wisdom of running the piece, utilizing the services of Linda Gradstein, a National Public Radio reporter based in Jerusalem, to vet it. Much of the information is interpretive and clearly the view of an anguished mother and a staunch right-winger. In no way is it intended to be an objective examination of the events surrounding the assassination. It is, however, a compelling look at one conservative religious community within Israel. It may raise interesting questions. It may not. Either way, the central tragedy remains. Rabin is dead, and the history of Israel has been changed forever. Let us know what you think. John Kennedy. Okay, given the current issues with the movie industry, I thought it was really interesting that John Kennedy brought up China when discussing video makers and record companies. It's interesting how this is all played out, and I think maybe he was trying to call it out in this editor's letter back in 1997. Who knows? What do you think? This episode was short and sweet, but please check out the new Hollywood issue of George coming out any day now. Be on the lookout for it at georgeonline.com. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time.
which is a hoot of a magazine. I thought you were a lawyer.
I was.
What happened?
Well, we decided, actually taking a cue from folks like yourself and you around the 1992 election, that there was an opportunity here to change the definition of a political magazine. Certainly the way Americans were accessing information about politics and politicians was changing. Candidates were appearing on late night talk shows, on talk radio, on sitcoms, and there was a kind of a leveling process, and while the rest of media clearly had caught up with that, we felt that political magazines per se hadn't.
Your mother was a hell of an editor at Doubleday.
That's what I hear.
Would she have liked George?
I think she would have.